G'day folks, I am back, and today, guess what? It's cloudy, but there's no wind. I can finally do the 50-meter testing, and I've got the sub 12 foot-pounders today, and I'm gonna do some testing with the H&Ns first and foremost. Alright, so that's my target down the valley there. Shows you guys an indication, it is almost like Shrek in a land far, far away. My setup for today is going to be quite simple. I've got first up the HW1. This is the trusty old workhorse of mine. I've got a nice tripod here in front, and this is probably the only time I can actually sit in front of the setup. We'll give you guys some of the detail what's going to happen today. Alright, so without further ado, let's do some more chatting, telling you guys or explaining to you guys exactly what we're going to do, and then we're going to be shooting. Alright, so interesting for today, no wind. Hopefully it was going to stay that way. Hopefully I'm going to stay dry, but I've got some umbrellas and coats and whatever to keep me dry should the rain come down, but it will definitely stop my filming. So today we're going to repeat basically what we did in the 30-meter test, with the only difference is that we're going to shoot at 50 meters. And the aim today is basically the same. I've got 3 targets here on top. You'll see that the pellet make and weight is in there. These targets are 30 millimeters, just over an inch and a little bit. And the aim today is to see which of these pellets head sizes actually performs the best. But I'll give you guys a nice little roundup afterwards about head sizes and does it really matter, yes or no, because this is what this whole series is all about. Does head size matter, yes or no? Alright, so we're going to shoot first and foremost the Baracuda Match. These are 10.65 grain. I'm going to shoot them in head sizes 4.50, 4.51 and 4.52. Right, I'm going to use 3 different guns again, so this is going to be a long shoot. If you want to forward, you're more than welcome, just look at the results. If you want to see me mess up the targets, keep on watching. Yeah, right. Okay, so first up is going to be the HW1. Now this baby is not pellet fussy at all. She likes just about anything that you put through the barrel. Then I'm going to exchange her for HW2. That one is the pellet fussy one. And then lastly I'm going to shoot with the Air Arms HFT 500. So you'll see 3 different head sizes, 3 different guns at 50 meters. And I'm going to enjoy it. I hope you guys do as well. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about me. I really need those sponsorships to come in. I'm running out of funds. Alright, that's a bit personal, but it is still the truth. Alright, let's go. And here comes the rain, but that's not going to deter me. HW1 Barracuda Match 4.50s. Alright, bit difficult to find the right holdover. This is my HFT gun, shoots out to 40 meters or 41 point something meters max, not to 50, but I should do better with the next group. Slightly better grouping, but not where I'm aiming at this stage. Alright, that's too far from my eye. I can't see how the groupings look, not through an 8x scope. I'll have to get closer, look at the results and look at where pardon the word, where I screwed up, because I was battling to find my holdover, but that's how we learn in the field. Let's quickly recap what this same gun did with the same pellets at 30 meters before we go into the 50-meter marker. So the last time round there were some extremely decent groupings right through the box, with the 4.50s coming up on tops on the 30-meter marker. Over to the 50-meter marker we see a total different ball game, with all of the suddens the 4.51s having the best grouping at 50 meters. Overall, this is not good enough. Top left 22mm grouping with 6 shots, I can live with that, almost live with that. The bottom one at 4.50, 2 of them way down to the right, the other 5 at 15 millimeters. Now that's what I want to see at 50 meters. I want those close, tight groupings. So this time round with the HW1, which is the non-barrel fuzzy gun, the 4.5 ones was slightly better. Alright, let's see what that fuzzy little bugger, the HW2, does this time. HW2 4.50s Barracuda Match. I made a small foot fault here. My calculation showed I had to aim a lot higher because of the gun running a lot slower. I was wrong. The moment I figured out the correct holdover, everything just fell in place. Hallelujah. Right, so it's the nut behind the gun that's got a few screws loose today. Let's see what the air arms does. Looking back at the 30 meters, the 4.50s reigned king there as well, with a 9.3 millimeter grouping. On the 50 meters, we see a total different picture again. We see that the 4.5s did well, but the winner was the 4.52s. Holy moly. Alright, yes, there's some human error in there as well, but still, just the two opposites. On the 30 meters, they didn't even feature with the HW2. But at 50 meters, all of a sudden, there's a change of attitude. I love this. Can't wait what the air arms is going to do with these babies. Alright, the rain is coming down now a little bit, but it's not too serious yet. The nice thing about the air arms HFT 500, this is my FT gun. So I've got the Cyclone S3 on top, so I can actually range the distance and it's spot on at 50 meters or 55 yards. I can click the turret accordingly so I don't have to shoot any holdover. So let's see what happens. This should be a lot accurater. A lot more accurate. See there, I ran out of English again so early in the morning. Better. I've got the slightest of breeze downwind, down target, pushing me slightly from left to right, and then every now and then it turns around. I can barely see it in my wind indicator in front of me. So hopefully the wind will stay down so I can do a more accurate test for you guys. So that was the H&N matches, Barracuda match in 10.65. Time to measure up, give you guys the results. At the 30 meter marker, the Air Arms HFT 500 had an absolute love affair with the match Barracudas. But unfortunately, this didn't pull through onto the 50 meters. I could only match a 21 millimeter grouping out of the 6 attempts that I had with the Barracuda matches. So somewhere along the line, the gun just doesn't like them at 50 meters. Although 30 meters was brilliant and I was almost going to trade my current pellets for these babies, but it didn't pull through to the 50 meter marker. Oh well, that's why I test them, and that's why I love doing these tests. Next up, we're going to move over to the field target trophies. Have you ever had one of those days that things just doesn't want to go according to plan? Well, I'm having one of those. Alright, so I shot on a couple of wrong targets that I incorrectly put up and all of those things in my haste to get everything covered for the rain and whatever. But hopefully from here onwards, I'll concentrate a bit more and make it easier for you guys. Alright, so next up, we've got the H&N Field Target Trophies. These are in 8.64 grain, 50 meters, HW1. Let's go. that was weird. All of those pellets was about an inch, inch and a half to the right. I didn't change my point of aim. I did not allow for any wind. There is no wind. Weird. Alright, let's go for the second round. That was a lot more fun. Interesting to note again that between the different head sizes or batch numbers, however you want to put that, there was a slight difference in elevation at 50 meters. Even though I kept my point of aim exactly the same, I could actually see a half a mil dot difference between some of the pellets. And then on the 4.52s on the bottom one, I allowed for another half a mil dot aimed higher, because I saw that it was shooting a half a mil dot high, so hopefully that correction proved to be the right one. Okay, time for the HW2. See what mess I can mess up with that mess.
With the 30-meter testing, the HW1 absolutely adored the 4.52s, with by far the best groupings being in that batch head or batch size. Looking at the 50-meter, the same results come through again, with the most immaculate grouping with the 4.52s of 5 shots at 8 millimeters and 2 just slightly low. Even with that, total grouping there was 22 millimeters. I can live with that. The rest wasn't so spectacular. 30 meters here, 29 millimeters there. Everything above an inch at 50 meters just won't do.
Alright, HW2. Alright, that's HW2 for us. Let's go and measure up.
At the 30-meter mark, the HW2 just fell in love with these field target trophies. It shot brilliant across the bar, with the best groupings again being in the 4.52 category. But unfortunately, it did not want to replicate those results at the 50-meter mark. There were some sparks here and there with the 8mm grouping with the 4.51s and a 10mm grouping at 4.52 with 5 shots. But I couldn't explain those two flyers if it was wind or it was me. But there's some sparks of brilliance there. I might want to hold on to these pellets a little bit more and test them a little bit more thoroughly. Alright, time to move on to the Air Arms HFT 500.
Alright, time for Big Mama to come to play with the kitty. Air Arms HFT 500 4.50s. And these are an 8.64 grain. Well, that last group wasn't too bad, except for that one way right. I don't know. I would have loved to see tighter groupings than that, to be honest. But that's shooting for you. Probably the weather. Blame it on the weather. Always blame it on the weather. Why not?
At At the 30 meter mark, I could only manage 2 decent grouping, both of them in the 4.5 ones. But when I look at the 50 meter, the 4.5 one didn't group at all. Just over an inch, that's not acceptable. Some better results on the 4.52s with 5 shots in less than 14 millimeters. Now I can work with that and build on that, but overall I was a little bit disappointed with the groupings on 50 meters. The overall best grouping of the day belonged to the HW100 number 1 with a spectacular 8mm grouping with the 4.52s field target trophies. The rest of them was a little bit disappointing, but there's always a next time. Guys, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. I'll see you guys in the next one.
That's all, folks.